Welcome to the next part of the show, and now we are going to deep dive into LOKAN.
Yes.
Right, LOKAN as a venture builder, and what's so unique about LOKAN.
Yeah.
So previously, I think Hao Ming spoke about something which was very inspiring to me. He said, money is a concept, and money is used as a vehicle to trade for possibilities. And I thought that was beautiful, right? Because at the heart of it, that's what I feel that LOKAN does. So could you share with me a little bit more about LOKAN as a venture builder, and how are you so different from traditional VCs or venture builders?
LOKAN, just to give a quick like a background context to it, right? So this is actually our 25th year. A lot of people actually didn't know that we've been around for quite long. 25 years, to be honest, is even older than some of the interns that we have in our office. Yeah, when we tell them 25 years, they're like, oh my God, it's older. We are not even born yet. Then I was like, I feel old also, but so, we've been around for a long time. That means that the question also begs is that, has it always been just a, brand consultancy? Has it evolved over time and things like that? So it started off as a brand consultancy 25 years ago. The mission is set out to do, right, hasn't changed at all. The format of it definitely have changed. The services also have evolved and expanded. But the mission that was set out to do for LOKAN has always been to uplift and to illuminate the pathway of Asian businesses. Is to uncover their potential for Asian businesses. So the first format of it to us was branding, right? Because to us, branding wasn't just about logos, typography, some fonts and colors and all that, right? That's a manifestation of your brand strategy,
Yeah.
right? Branding, it's really about understanding and having that clarity of what your positioning as a business is out to do, right? What are you here for? What is the purpose of your business? If you think about it, it's a business or a brand is like a living thing. It's a person, right? It's just like yourself. What is your purpose, right? If you're not clear about that, it's unlikely you would find much success in the things you do, right? Even as a person. Similarly for brand as well, right? So that's something that we have been doing for so long time. It's very market research driven, very data driven to actually uncover and discover that brand positioning for our clients. So many years already, we worked on very notable brands today. They used to be startups, or like Charles and Keith, Bread Talk, Paradise Group, your Sofa, and these were brands that when they worked with us, they were just starting out, right? They were once also a startup, or they were once a SME, right? So and then today, a lot of these brands have grown into global icons really.
Yeah.
Like one of which is like this milk bottle brand called Hegen. Yvonne's the founder. She's very well recognized today as a very successful entrepreneur. But back then when she worked with us, the brand Hegen isn't even existing yet. There's no brand Hegen. There's no square shaped milk bottle yet. Nothing of such is even in existence yet. But that's where we worked with her and help basically help her to shape up her vision into reality,
Wow.
right? It was a journey, of course. So over the 25 years, LOKAN has helped a lot of business, not just to position their brand. We always help to position their brand for global expansion. But then the next stage that we have done a lot of it is bringing that brand to market. It's not just talking about brand to local market, but we're talking about internationalization, right? Be it bringing it to Indonesia, Malaysia, China, wherever it is, right? We've helped a lot of businesses to scale, over 60 markets within the world. So in a nutshell, when I came into LOKAN early 2023, when I looked at this business, I asked myself, what is good about it that should be retained or should be extracted out and restructured as part of its core DNA. And I come to realize that a major part of what it has done is helping business to uncover true value to their customers, being able to do that for so many years. So we've been building ventures, but as a professional service for 20 over years. What's different about us today is that we have the know-how of how to help business to scale up from SMEs or startups all the way to being a global business. So then why don't we put our money where our mouth is, right, and start investing on selected businesses, selected ventures to journey with them in their growth journey or as a business and so on. So alongside with the consultancy that we're still doing, I feel that as we do that, we are looking at so many different type of business because we are agnostic when it comes to industry. Selectively, when we look at certain of these ventures and the founders or the founding team, right, we come to realize, hey, some of this venture really fits into our investment mandate, and be it the chemistry, the people, the goals, the values, the potential of the business, then we would go into a venture mode where we will invest into them, and then work with them pretty hands-on to grow their business and to scale it up as well. So then it's a lot more meaningful that way.
Yeah. I love it when you said put your mouth where it is, right?
Yeah,
Or
put your money where your mouth is.
put your money where your mouth is.
Yes.
Because that is about sharing risk, sharing
Yeah.
reward. And of course, from a consultancy perspective, you
Yeah.
guys have a playbook or
Yeah.
a certain method to madness.
Yeah.
You can help them to reach certain target markets in a very efficient way.
Yes.
So by entering into this venture relationship now you're at the stage of partnering with them for growth. Yeah.
Exactly.
But a really practical question though,
Yeah.
how would that affect your cash flow situation then? Because I
Yeah.
imagine consultancy, you either go by grants, right? Or you go by a project fee. For venture, it is going to be a longer journey
game,
with them,
yeah,
right? Maybe
yeah.
3 years before
Yeah.
you see any sort of results.
Yeah.
So how did that change for LOKAN?
I think for us, the what we call the flywheel business model is actually quite straightforward. The consultancy is not. It's not that it's something that we are stopped. We're not doing anymore. It's just that when I came to this business, right, when I looked at the business model, as an agency, as a consultancy, it's a professional service, right? I didn't feel that it was a business that could. It's a scalable business because you're chasing projects, right?
Yeah.
In order to scale, you have to get more projects. And then when you have more projects, you need to hire more,
Yes.
right? Because
That's
it's
The loop,
typical
loop.
agency.
correct. You need to
problem.
exchange time for money, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But you wouldn't hire before you get the project.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right. So you're often stretched.
Yes.
And it's fine if you actually have some sort of ownable IP that you can have after the project is done, but you don't. It's a client's IP that you
Correct.
worked on as a service.
Yeah.
So your only IP that you have really is your track record, your know-how, your methodology, which thankfully LOKAN has that. 25 years, you can't buy that, right?
Yeah.
It's a long time of thousands of success stories that we have done and helped so many clients to scale, to transform, and so on and so forth. So the consultancy part is still there, and consultancy business model is very straightforward. It's a very linear business model.
Yeah.
It's like about net margin is about 30%, thereabouts, right? It's pretty standard. Sometimes you earn less, sometimes you earn more, but thereabout on an average. So what essentially happens is that when we go into a venture mode, we invest with three type of capital actually.
Okay.
So of course, one type of capital, which is something everyone's very familiar with, is financial capital, which is actual money, right?
Yeah.
So on above that, like on top of that, we have two other capital that we invest into the ventures. We call them creative capital, as well as relationship capital.
Okay.
So both of which are what LOKAN's IP is for the number of years that we have built up, right?
Yeah.
Which is that the know-how, the consultancy work, the project, and so on and so forth. Instead of taking a consulting fee, we actually swap for sweat equity.
I see.
Right. Of course, that portion is sweat. Of course, then the financial part is money for equity lah.
Yeah.
Right. So we swap for sweat equity. So in order to fund that sweat, we use our 30% margin to fund it. Basically, finance that, right? Because it's either you take a project fee, which then is consultancy mode, or if you're in the venture mode, then we don't take consultancy fee. We straight up take equity instead. But we do structure in certain cash generation model into it as well, be it like profit sharing or royalty, something that is performance based.
Yeah.
So again, is putting where the money where your mouth is, right? Is that if you only get incentivized when you also achieve success together with the venture.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the whole idea of it, and it goes with the flywheel model because we have an investment mandate to what kind of venture that we go into,
Yeah.
and then as we successfully build up these ventures, which we have done so many times already for so many years, but now it's just a different model of us directly investing into these companies. So as we successfully scale them up, collect more data points, it goes back to consulting.
Right.
And the consulting part really becomes a strategic deal flow for us. You're looking at different projects all the time, and doing curation and vetting and so on.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
think it's very interesting, the entire model, especially from the consultancy moving up. The I would say the traditional model of venture has always been more thought of from just purely investments
Yeah.
and purely
Raise funds,
financial
Yeah.
kind of aspect, but
Yeah.
you're bringing in the parts where you mentioned relationship and creativity.
Creative. Yeah, because I think traditional VCs, for them, their role is they typically put in some funds, they invest in the company financially, and they are more often than not so hands-on,
Yeah.
right? They are more often than not in the business
Yeah.
to help them build. So there's a big difference between being a venture builder and a venture capital, right? So being a builder, as the word suggests, right, we are very hands-on. We are there to build up the business together with the founders or the business owners. We don't take majority. We never go in with to take majority of the business because we believe in people.
Yeah.
Meaning that the spirit of the business still lies with the passion that the founders or the business owners have. So then, for us, our role is very straightforward. It's always what LOKAN does best, right? Which is positioning a brand for global scale up, and then enabling the brand to scale internationally, which is brand to market. One, branding and brand to market. That's something that we do very well. Brand to market is opening up, taking a bigger market size, right?
Yeah.
Like being able to sell more, basically.
Yeah.
Brand, it's that intangible value that is built up on a day-to-day basis, right? It's the multiplier effect, actually. Yeah.
I love the idea of the flywheel, right? Because it is very sustainable. I don't know whether to say this, but a lot of people call VCs as vulture capitalists. So mainly they take such a huge share of the company that it is not easy to sustain.
Yeah.
And people just raise funds and they raise to the next series, and it just becomes this whole never-ending loop of raising funds.
Yeah.
And then they start to be distracted from the actual building of the business itself.
Yeah.
But what you're building here is actually very sustainable because you are not taking in exchange for large equity, yet you're still enabling them to profit and everyone win together.
Correct. So I think most businesses overlook the fundamental of what branding is about. They think, like I said, they think that a lot of people think that branding is a cosmetic thing. It's just to look good, right?
Yeah.
That level, yes.
Yeah, but it's
There's one level.
Yeah, but it's really not that. That in itself, brand value, right, is fundamental to business. It's your foundation of the business. To understand your purpose, to truly understand that purpose will lead you to the next thing, which is your unique core competitive advantage. That's something we call it like UCCA. Will lead you to what you can do best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based on that purpose.
Yeah.
And then from what you can do best to serve your target audience will then lead to dollar generator,
Yeah.
which is how you make money. And when you do generate some dollars, it should fuel back your purpose, and it goes round and
It's
round
still
like a
another
flywheel.
flywheel.
Right,
Yes.
it's a flywheel, or something we call it a hedgehog model. And this is extremely important. So because a lot of times people think that branding is just a cost center. Do I need to pay this amount, or why do I want to spend the resources to go and do branding? It's just cosmetic.
Yeah.
But it's not really. It's really a lot of reflection as a brand owner, as a business owner, as to what your vision, your mission is really about, and to be true to it.
Correct.
Those businesses and clients that we have helped and are successful today, is because till date, right, 8 years, 10 years later, right, they're still very disciplined in using the brand strategy that we created for them years ago. To the T, today you can still see in their messaging, right, they follow the playbook in a very organized and very disciplined manner. And it really leads them to where it is, because then you're compounding their value over time
I see.
and actually building up very strong foundation as a business. So then when it comes to raising funds, right, I heard a lot of these things, right? I always, people raise funds and it becomes a cycle.
Yeah.
And then they raise, let's say they're successful in raising, which is good for them, not easy even,
Yeah.
right? But when they raise the fund, right, because you're not clear on what you're actually doing, right,
Yeah.
then they don't know how to spend the money properly,
Yes.
wisely. That actually brings them proper returns, right? Or so that's a big problem. So I always my advice to a lot of businesses is that don't take money before you know what to do with it. or don't take money that you don't
Wise investment advice even for
Yeah.
a person.
correct. Because don't take money when you don't know how to use it, and you don't know when you don't need it.
Yeah.
It's the worst, because then after that you're stuck with it and you feel a need to do something with it. And then you end up making maybe silly decisions and you wastefully spend it away on things that don't actually matters, right? So then that's a big problem. So for us, we're there to guide them to journey with the businesses, and we don't do more than what we are good at. So that's why our role is very clear.
Yeah.
We're here to make sure your foundations are built right. We're here to also expand your business into new markets, right? But the way we venture is very there's a structure to it.
Okay.
So there's a clear methodology. When it comes to venture building, we put on this lens that we call a regenerative lens. And it's based on it's based on 5 pillars of sustainability. So because people always talk about sustainability and they might be thinking environmental,
Environment, yes.
or the first thing they think about is
Planet
planet Earth and the straw up,
green.
the straw in the turtle's nose and things like that. And stuff like that, but it's more than that. So there's 5 pillars of sustainability that LOKAN believe in, and use that as a way to build into the DNA of the ventures that we helped, right, or we invest in. And that 5 is economic, social, environmental, of course, brand and culture, and then lastly operational. So each of it is its own meaning and its own purpose, its own outcome. So economic, is basically money, right? In order to do good, a lot of business say they want to do good now. But in order to do good, you must first do well, lah. Yeah. If not,
That's
This
the
we
basic
agree
part.
with.
So
Yes.
it's a form of sustainability. You need to
Yes.
be able to make sure your business is sustainable in itself in order to serve that value to your target audience, your customers, whoever that you are out to serve, right? Second, of course, social. Because in today's world, we believe that with any venture, it should be a human first in terms of mindset.
Oh,
Right.
human first.
What does
Human-
human first mean?
When we say human first, right, is that your venture is built around the idea of returning value back to society, to people. And in this context of it, is returning value back to people. When we build ventures, we look at 2 things. One is ROI, which is performance of a business, right? That's something everyone knows
Return
about
of
it.
investment.
Return on investment, right? That in itself, it's your usual P&L and things like that. But the other thing that we look at quite a lot, right, in the way we build ventures is ROV, which is return on values, and that is purpose. So its
Okay.
purpose meets performance actually. So ROV is basically we aim to have net positive value returns back to society,
Okay.
right? Because business inherently it's extracting value from society or from nature, whatever it is, right, for profits. Right, that's capitalism. That's just the nature of business. It's not that it's evil or good or whatever. This is business is like that. So having ROV in our sense is that it's about making sure that the value that you return back to society is more than the value you extracted from it. Because then you lead to this thing called regeneration. You start to regenerate from whatever that you've been taking. So beyond just the ROI, which is the performance part. These 5 pillars are important because we will look into the social, which is human first, making sure that it's always putting people at the forefront of your venture.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're not adding value to life, then what are you really adding value to? You can only add value to yourself because it's not sustainable that way.
Yeah,
That's what
I see.
that's what we mean, right? It's not sustainable to only be self-centered.
Yeah.
Right? The world it revolves around more than just yourself. Then environmental, I think that's self-explanatory, right?
Yes.
Everyone knows what environmental is to make sure that that this world is still around lah. Yeah. So it
Don't
needs to be
extract too much.
exactly. So then of course then brand and culture, something you don't really hear about. So
Yeah.
I think earlier when I think I mentioned is that most businesses are very product driven, right? Most business they are very hurried in a way where they are looking at revenue and profits very quickly, and they tend not to put in priority in building up brand or brand equity or brand value. In today's world, you really see a graveyard of brands. And what I mean by that is that there are a lot of people that see a trend on TikTok or on social media, like some product that they see that's trending right now. They quickly go and buy from Taobao or whatever, slap a brand on it, and then start reselling
Yeah.
it. When the trend is over, the brand is dead.
Yes.
Right? That in itself, firstly, there's a lot of wastage. Right? So it's not sustainable in the sense that like a brand, it's like a vessel, right? It's like a vehicle to compound value over time. So you look at long time brands like your Disney, you look at Nike, whatever, all these brands has been around for years and years, decades, right? The ability for them to do more than what they're doing as the core of their business of, let's say, selling sneakers as Nike or sports apparel or whatsoever goes beyond that already.
Yeah.
Because they have compounded so much value as a business, they're able to do way more than that. Support athletes, talk about sportsmanship, go into venue sponsorship, whatever it is, right? They can do a lot of good. They can even have foundations set up for social purposes and whatsoever. They represent more than just the product already. They represent an idea,
Yep.
right? That goes beyond just the physical form, right? And that's brand, right? And also a brand is able also to carry culture along with them, right? A culture of whatever it is, could be subculture, it could be traditional culture. So it depends on the nature of business. Now operational is very important as well because a lot of business tend to have difficulty transiting from founder led to enterprise led.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a real
Yeah.
struggle.
It's a real struggle because so the most business have this challenge to professionalize the business, and they bottleneck at the
Founder
founders
level.
level, right? Which is not good operationally. You're not scaling with sanity right now. You go crazy because when you're smaller, it's okay.
Yeah.
You can deal with it. When it starts to grow bigger and all that, right? How is it possible, right? So then, that transition from founder to steward is extremely important. It's not that the founders become obsolete. It's not that we're saying that the founders should just exit. It's not about exit. It's about the role that the founder plays is going to be different. It's no longer I'm a founder of a business. I'm now the steward of the business. It has taken its own life already, the business. Now that the business or the brand has taken its own life, I'm here to steer the ship. Right? I'm no longer here to build anymore. Right? I'm just continuously steering it and navigating it. And when the time is right, it's time to pass on to someone else or to the team and to have trust and so on and so forth. Then operationally, it becomes sustainable as a business.
I love
Yeah.
this
So
part, right?
beautiful.
Because a lot of founders, they are stuck at the ownership and the builder level.
Yeah.
And in order to move on to the next phase, like
Yeah.
what you coined it beautifully, is really about stewarding resources now.
Yep. Yep.
Right? And how do you pass on this method to steward the resources well to the next generation
Yeah,
of
yeah.
leaders, right?
Yeah.
So I love that it's
Yeah.
really beautiful. Because on our side, we are also doing a little bit of a book club session now
Yeah.
on this book called Tribal Leadership.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the book?
I saw it on, if I'm not wrong, TikTok or Instagram. Yeah, people are recommending it. Yeah. I didn't read it. I haven't read it yet, but I saw it that it was a recommended book to look at.
Yeah.
So that book is beautiful because it talks about how from a stage 3 leader
Yeah.
that you are always the one that is the most accomplished in the company. Now you have to move on to become a stage 4 leader where you are no longer the superstar. You are now going to take whatever skills, package it, and pass it on to the next generation. And then
Yeah.
from there, you just look at it and steward the resources accordingly.
Yeah.
So I think that is the that's a gap in the market that is unlocked at the moment, locked at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's a huge gap because a lot of times, I mean, we've also worked with some clients who express their struggle before.
Yeah.
They said, it's a very surface level thing though, which is like, oh, it feels like anytime I want to take the founder out of the equation, when they say that it's usually through marketing, for example, right? Then everything falls apart. So it's still face driven.
Yeah.
And very much so that they're not really in a position where they're thinking about how to move on from founder to stewarding. They're still looking at it more from the perspective of marketing being one face.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think there's a big gap there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to point out about a term, human first. There's not often talk about, right? So is there, of course, humans at large, generic men, right? But is there a specific group of people that you are more focused on in your investment mandate?
Yeah, for sure. So I think people tend to ask us, do you invest in any type of business, or is there a specific type of business that you look into? So within our mandate, we're very clear on investing into the well-being economy,
Okay.
right?
Oh,
So
okay.
well-being economy, that's the starting point, because
Yeah.
investment is about a bet on the future, right?
Correct.
So that's the point that we're starting with in terms of our investment. But the future that we're betting on is that the well-being economy would evolve into the regenerative economy via just now, what we talk about having net positive return on value to society, creating a regeneration. So well-being, what does it even mean? Well-being is businesses that add value to life. That's our definition of it. Such
Add
as,
value to life.
yeah, because we tend to look into agriculture, aquaculture, biotech, cosmeceutical, nutraceutical, which is like supplements, functional food. So things that allows life to be uplifted, not at the upper class level. We're talking about the bottom line of society, to uplift that the bottom line of society, so that value is truly added to society, not increasing the gap actually. It's about lifting it up. And why agriculture, aquaculture, and then there's biotech, and then after you hear some verticals, right?
Yeah.
Which is more consumer driven, because we often see this gap, right? That we're here to solve, right? Which is the source to the shelf. Source being, it could be a science, it could be farms, it could be technology, innovation, which some business really have really good IP and innovation and technology and so on and so forth. But the shelf is actually consumers.
Yeah.
There is a massive gap to turn that and commercialize it into something relevant for the consumers.
Yeah, absolutely. Because of usually of price,
Yeah.
economies of scale,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? You can't reach to the mass market from
Exactly.
the start, right?
Also, at the same time, most founders or businesses within the area of being the source, right? They could be scientists.
Yeah.
They could be
Non-entrepreneur
researcher.
lah,
Yeah.
basically.
They may have difficulty
Translating.
translating it into a business.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
relating it to consumer. It's a different set of skills, right?
Yeah.
What are
So
some examples where you bridge the gap?
science-wise, we're looking into this business that actually does cultivated fish fats. So they are growing
fish
fish. Yeah, they are growing fish fats in the lab using stem cell technology. Really amazing technology that they have. The science behind it is very sound. In fact, they are first in the world to have such a technology, and they actually done their patent, right? So absolutely first in the world, right? But to translate that into a business, a commercial business, there's some challenges there, because the team is mainly made up of really really good scientists. So it is in their nature to see that part of the world, which is the lab, and maybe not in the office, in the business world. It's not that they don't know how to do it. It's just that maybe it's just different skill set, right?
Yeah.
It's just like they always like tend to joke about like an engineer, to get an engineer to launch a car, you will never see the car.
Yeah.
Because they were they're
Never
so they're
good
so,
enough also.
correct, never good
They're
enough. They're
tampering,
very fixated
fixing
about
something.
on precision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean that's one example. So when we talk about well-being and all that, right? Taking the source of, let's say, agriculture, looking at oats, looking at chocolates like cacao and all that, we ask ourselves how to use technology to turn it into functional food, for example. Right? So one of the ventures that we gone into and building it together with the founders is a business that is within the oat-based business.
Yeah.
So oat-based products like
Okay.
granola, overnight oats. These are the two category of products that we have. So I mean, oats are already good for health in the first place. They have very good properties that people tend to overlook. May not be everyone's favorite lah.
Yeah.
Not everyone will like, oats, wow, sounds very dry, sounds very plain and bland. But it can be nice. One of the missions is to allow people to realize that, eating healthy doesn't mean you need to eat bland. Yeah. But of course, then we are growing beyond just granola and overnight oats as consumer business, right? The functional benefit that we're trying to infuse into it is traditional medicine centered ingredients. To take that functional benefit of those of traditional medicine and modernize it into products that is more receptive to people.
I
Yeah.
see.
Right. And reason being of doing that is because inherently this business, right, when we came to know the founders, even as a startup 2 years ago, right, they really had nothing much. They were just growing, really hustling, don't draw salary, the typical story, right? But even with what little that they have, they would actually set out in their day-to-day business to make sure that they still support marginalized groups, such as PWDs, like persons with disability, and SENs, which is special educational needs,
I see.
right? So basically, people who fall under the neurodivergent individuals, right? So they're very passionate about that, and it's not something that is you look at them and the way they talk about it, right, it's not an afterthought or marketing
Gimmick.
gimmick or what.
Yeah.
They live and breathe it. They don't. I look at their P&L and I'm like, you already have so little, you still make sure that you hire interns that are PWD or SENs so that you give them real life job opportunity. You give them opportunity to expose themselves to a certain skill set or work, and they even work with coaches that helps with the environment, right, that they are working within, right, because they might be sensitive and things like that. So far, even like 1.5 years, 2 years, they have like 6 interns that are all PWD SEN, and they will actually pay a talent company, like recruitment company, that specialize in recruiting marginalized groups. So that conviction is next level. It's like the first time I met the founder, and then I'm like, I told my partner after the meeting, I was like, whatever it is, we need to invest in them. I say I don't even need to look at the numbers. I say it doesn't matter what their numbers is. We need to invest in them. Why? This is exactly why we do what we do. This is exactly that. It's people like that really needs help, right? So then I don't really care about what numbers they are at. I don't care how big or small they are. I just know that their mission is pure and true, and we need to be part of it to amplify it further, not for ourselves, but to bring this value and good to more people. So that's why we are creating like products that might be able to support the daily lifestyle of neurodivergent individuals. And I'm very passionate about that because I myself, I was clinically diagnosed with ADHD. It's not something I really share much lah, but
when
it's
do you start to understand or realize that you were clinically diagnosed ADHD?
at the age of around 26 actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty
Late,
old.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty late in life.
Yeah, because I think my parents is in the generation where what is ADHD? It's like it's like it can eat and ADHD. It's like so they wouldn't know at all.
Yeah.
So they are in the day and age where ADHD is something that they thought is just to them in their mindset is maybe just very naughty lah, troublemaker lah, very active kid lah, and then they being a boy they just think that like boys lah, it's like that, very distracted and all that.
Yeah.
But in the end, why did I even still get diagnosed, right? It's because as I grew older and grew up, went to university, and then finished studying and started work, right? Like I could feel I may not necessarily be what people call normal.
Something not quite right.
Yeah, not quite the same as what normal is. In the way I communicate, in the way I think, in the way I see the world. I can tell not really the same lah.
Okay.
So then I decided that I'm just curious or just like thought like okay then maybe I have lah. So I went to see a certified psychiatrist for proper ADHD diagnosis.
Mm.
Yeah, no surprises then. I actually was diagnosed with clinical ADHD. Clinical meaning that actually by right it's serious enough to take medication.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one. And then I have what they call classical ADHD, which means I have both AD and HD. Some people
Oh,
only have maybe
okay.
one side of it,
Yeah.
right? Or some people lean more to one side, and but I'm pretty balanced in there, but I have both. And doing the ADHD diagnosis or test, right, you also have to do IQ test as part of it.
Ah.
Reason is being they want to understand where do you fall on in terms of the spectrum,
Mm.
right? So I'm very lucky. I fell on the high side of the IQ. So then I'm deemed as what they call a high functioning person, right, with ADHD or high functioning neurodivergent individual.
I see.
So even though my brain is diverse, it's functioning pretty on a high level of it. But that doesn't mean there's no challenges. There's still the challenge there. Then if your IQ, let's say, fall on the normal side of things, then you might have a lot of challenge in, let's say, learnings. So you might fall into SEN. Because SEN,
Special education.
that's right. So special educational needs, right, is people with let's say maybe challenges in learning. So we fall under that. Then you fall, let's say, your IQ, let's say, fall under on the lower side, then you might have more serious implication on life, right, itself, right? Like maybe you have autism that might implicate certain societal norms. Like you might have challenge in society activities, like usual activities in interacting with people or whatsoever, and then that will then you fall under PWD, person with disability, or you can be both. And so it's a interesting thing lah. So I fall under neurodivergent individual, but I don't fall under PWD or SEN.
I see.
It's just that I have challenges in that. So ADHD is it's quite crazy. Your mind is running at like a million miles per hour all the time. It's chaotic in
Did
there.
you tell in the 2
Right.
hours? ADHD?
Not in the 2 hours.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
because of time, in
Yeah.
a very short
Yeah.
paragraph, right? Could you share very quickly with the audience how did you cope over the years?
This is what my psychiatrist kind of say lah.
Yeah.
I have somehow managed to create a switch in my head.
Oh.
Kind of rewired my own brains over the years because I'm supposedly high functioning. So there's a superpower when it comes to ADHD, which is this thing people call hyperfocus. When you're doing something you really like, when you're doing something really stimulating, you can go into this mode called hyperfocus, meaning like you can 8 hours, 10 hours doing the same thing, and you don't feel bored, you don't even remember eat, you don't remember do anything, but you feel totally okay, right? Or you're under a lot of pressure, then you're hyperfocused. Let's say your exam is coming in 1 week's time, you haven't studied yet. Suddenly you can go into hyperfocus and become like your brain superhuman. So what happened is that apparently I have kind of rewired my brain and have this switch for hyperfocus in my head. And I kind of turn it on and never really turn it off anymore. So it's always there. I'm able to focus most of the time at the very most, but I need downtime, which is maybe after work. I love going home. Because, like people say, what's your plan on Friday? I'm like, go home. And I say, also no plans. I say, that's my plan. My plan is to go home.
My plan is to rest.
Yeah, my plan is to go home and rest because it's like, I need downtime.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the motherboard is like forever running on overdrive, right?
Yeah.
So I have that because neurodivergent individual like myself, when you have ADHD, your brain might be functioning at less than 100% or less than
Capacity,
ideal normally. But hyperfocus goes beyond that. So I'm like on overdrive all the time.
Reminds me of the movie. There's this movie called Lucy or something like that. About this
Oh,
lady that can tap on her
okay.
unconscious
I see.
intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Right. So
So there's hope.
yeah.
There's hope to
Yeah.
practice and
for
to
sure.
be that level of high functioning.
I mean, that's why I do a lot of mentoring. It's my form of paying it forward to individuals that also face such challenges. Every individual has its own different set of challenges because depending on where do you fall on the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
But doesn't mean that life's over. Well, that's what I'm trying to put it out across, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you're neurodivergent. or you have some level of disability, it means that life's over for you, because it's not true at
life,
all.
it's
It is not.
just
It's
life.
just simply not true at all. I have all the challenge of a neurodivergent individual. I can't have anxiety. I mean, I tend to have anxiety because when you have ADHD,
Yes.
you are like go nuts, right?
Yeah.
You overthink a lot. You know, your mind is jumping all over the place. You can't focus as well.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And talking about it, sometimes you feel really sad because you don't feel normal. And the worst part about this kind of disability is that it's not shown on the outside.
Yeah.
It looks real normal outside. So nobody will ever empathize with you. Nobody
They
will think
can't,
they can't
don't
because they can't
know.
see it.
Yeah.
Right? And you tell them, they don't believe you some more. Huh? No lah, Hao Ming, how can it be? Like, you look damn normal, you talk very normal. I'm like, you don't know the chaos within, man. Like the amount of effort and energy I use every day, passively just trying to cope, right? To hold everything together, right? It's insane. Like the amount of energy. And but I don't let that be a disability. As I don't let that be a problem, and an excuse to say that, oh, because of that I can't do life.
Yeah.
I think that's when you really can't do life, when you decide that you can't do
You
life.
decide not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very important message to anyone out there, because one in five people actually
Neurodivergent.
are neurodivergent.
More and more,
individual.
especially.
We have team members who was like that also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was on the worst side because he had depression too.
Oh.
I had it
Because
as well
like a
when I was
both
younger.
side thing,
Yeah.
juggling, right?
That's tough.
It's a very lonely space. And because you don't know about it yourself, not much awareness out there, not much solutions out there given. So then you don't really have many people talk about, and you're also not sure until you really go and diagnose. Not everyone like me go and diagnose, right? Because curious.
Yeah.
So you kind of just live with it, and you're misunderstood most of the time. You wonder to yourself why you have less friends, why people take offense to the things you say when you don't mean anything bad about it. You don't mean any bad intention or whatsoever. You just, maybe you come across a bit different, and then you just reside to fate lah. Sometimes that okay lor, maybe I'm not. Maybe I got problem. Yeah, like you're not really sure. Then it's like quite sad, man. So, but what I'm trying to say is that there's definitely hope lah. It's there are definitely people out there that are helping as well for a situation like that.
Beautiful. All right, as we come to the end of this episode, I think amazing sharing today. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
all the
Thank you
different
for having
aspects
me.
of it. So your role is to think about a question for the next guest, and we'll ask it of the next guest.
Right. So I mean, I would like to ask the next person lah. What is really your true purpose in your life, like that you're seeking? Because for me, it's freedom, right? Because I somehow feel trapped sometimes. Be it as a work thing, as being a business owner,
Yeah.
but I also feel trapped as ADHD person. It's like I have this version of me inside that's crazy,
Yeah.
so noisy, and it's just trapped in there, talking to myself all the time. Then you go crazy. So sometimes people say your eyes really crazy, but I think you're not wrong about it. Because there's someone else in there. But
Okay.
so anyway, so for my own purpose, I because I want to seek freedom to break out of this one day.
Yeah.
I hope to know what is their true purpose in their own life. So that would be very. You can send me a
Okay,
link there.
great. It's a wrap. Thank you so much.
All right.